Hi, Vinny.
Hi.
I love the show.
I'm so glad you saw it.
It was fantastic, man. I had a great time.
I think we have more and more fun each time we perform it.
Yeah.
And last night's opening, I think it was the longest we took to do the show, and because we were having so much fun, we were just.
There was a joy in that. I could see the same thing. I
Yeah.
could see you and you guys were just laughing on stage and enjoying yourselves.
Yeah,
and,
we're starting to be easy enough, calm enough that we can make fun of each other and still continue on. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Kiviok. Who is Kiviok?
Kivilk, he was born a regular human person who just had a really long life, and he traveled from place to place and did many different adventures. Once he would be trying to travel on his kayak to a far off place, and he would be seemingly unable to proceed anywhere, even though he's paddling away.
Right.
And then he would stop, rest on the shore, and he would hear a little thing saying, oh, I need some help. So he would help a little mouse get up onto a rock.
Right.
And then he would able to continue that, stuff like that. So yeah, he's a major part of, telling big stories meant to, relate to life somehow, if you can pull from that.
Were these stories you grew up hearing, Kiviok stories?
No, I was watching the Maple Leafs on CBC.
That was a bad idea. Yeah.
I missed out on that one.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because stories about Kiviok, they were banned by the missionaries. They were banned by the Canadian government. It must feel a certain way to still be telling them, or to be telling them now.
It's been so great to be able to get elders to come in if they're in a Inuktitut, or if we have a camera person traveling to a different place and a person has any stories relating to Kivilk, and we get them recorded so that we can try and have records of these stories. And I think we were just at the right time to finally stop being shy of telling our stories. And that's why we love the title of our show, the play, Kivilk Returns. It's not that he's coming back from someplace in the play. It's that we are able to do the play, a Kivilk story for ourselves. Kivilk returns to us as a people.
That's maybe my favorite moment. We were talking about this before we turned the microphones on, was that there are moments in the middle of the play. You act out these stories. You do dramatizations of these Kivilk stories. But in the meantime, the screens actually come up, and it's the elders actually telling these stories. And you guys all stop, and you generally watch them. I can't imagine what it's like to actually be able to hear and present the elders telling these stories.
Susan Ovingak, one of the first elders you see, and she was at our Inuktitut play. We did one show in December.
Yeah.
She sat front and center and was beaming with pride just to see how far we've come as a collective to do the play.
That must have been amazing. Did you get to talk to her afterwards about it? And
Yeah. She just she was just, all she could say was so nice. It was so nice. What you did was so nice.
It must have been powerful for you to be able to act out those stories then in front of her as well.
Every time we do the show up north, it's always more nerve-wracking. It's like, are we going to do this right? And
really?
Yeah. And usually, some of the older folks that haven't seen it, they're always in the back, or you can hear them. I remember that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I know that story. So it was always so cute, and have different people come up to us afterwards saying, all I could hear was them, just saying, I know that. It's always nice.
So what's the difference then in the way it feels when you perform it in downtown Toronto?
Do you know Kivilk stories?
No.
No? Then we know that. And so we're just doing something we know and sharing it with people from downtown Toronto.
Yeah. Does it feel different at all on stage?
I think we've been here long enough to just have fun on the stage now.
You're mentioning.
No.
And you also, I should mention that the whole show is in Inuktitut. Before the show, Lakaluk Williamson Bathory, the director of the show, comes on and says, hey, the English is there if you need it, but let the Inuktitut language wash over you and really take it in and really, and I don't want to say admire it, but take it in, let it come all over you, experience it. But I should say for people listening to this, there are ways, like you do write out the stories in a program.
We do have a nice program that people could read during the video. We raise the lights up a little bit so that during the videos you can sort of catch up on what we were acting out, or you can take it home and read about it. When you purchase the tickets, they send you an email saying check out this website where you could learn about the stories beforehand, and then you can watch it being played out.
If you're just tuning in, I'm speaking with actor Vinnie Karetak about his new play, Kiviok Returns, an Inuit epic, now running at the Tarragon Theatre in downtown Toronto. So as we mentioned earlier, you're one of the 3 actors that play the role of Kiviok in the play, but back home, you're also part of a show called Kanorli.
Kanorli.
It's a comedy show that's been described as, and I love this, Wayne's World meets Saturday Night Live in the North. It's entirely in Inuktitut. We're going to take a listen to a clip.
Sure.
No. In the Bruce Lee,
So that's a clip from your show, Kanorli. I think I got Bruce Lee in there. Tell me a little
That
bit.
was Bruce Lee in there.
What was going on in that sketch?
This 2 stars were acting out as their grandmothers, and so the old grandmothers are recalling how when their kids were younger and asking about silly things that they done while they were young, and the grandmother was asked, are you sure Bruce Lee is not a Huitok, a name? Because we look the same. And then the grandmother just starts laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing.
What's the comedy scene like in Nunavut these days?
We have a emerging stand-up comedy in Iqaluit, mostly. It's good. It's very local stuff. For television and or theater and or film, it's there was that one show so far, and it's getting good.
Does it feel like there's more opportunities for comedy, for acting than maybe there were when you were growing up first?
Yeah, we had Kanorli on for 7 seasons, and in those 7 seasons, we went from filming very simple jokes to full on episodes around one issue. I mean, it grew.
Yeah, but even just in terms of acting, like is the theater performing arts scene stronger than it's ever been? Is it what's going on?
We're seeing a lot of Inuit getting acting roles in movies and TV shows, and it's so great to see people from Nunavut that are being called, or Inuit we know from across the country that are being asked to be part of movies.
But and I also know that it's part of not just the mandate of you, but the mandate of your collective to make sure that you're also creating opportunities for up and coming Inuit artists as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
The Lakaluk Williamson Bathory is such a caring person who likes to nurture people with their stories, and a simple idea can become a very big thing. It's like something we need to talk about. And I said one thing to her in Ottawa after our group received the Arctic Inspiration Prize, and I said a story of my grandmother, and she says, "Hey, let's do something about it. Let's make it happen." So we're now in the middle of trying to develop it.
So that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's nice to talk to you. Before we go, I was told to ask you if you had a Inuktitut dad joke for me.
Inuktitut dad jokes? I don't.
I got it written down on a piece of paper. Ask Vinny about Inuktitut dad jokes.
Maybe. It said maybe, but
You know what? That's all right. I tell enough dad jokes for everybody.
I'm very bad. They just come off the cuff. That's the problem.
That's all right. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Congrats on the show.
Thanks for having me.